with computer. What's this mean?
Allow.
Start video.
So, huh? Is it because they can get away with it? Yeah. What are you gonna do? Well, I got a guy with top of the shoulder. Sorry. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, hello.
I'm an electrician, he does my hospital bills. So I'm hiring Pulse Electric 3 days a week to fill in for the electrician. I'm hiring Strike the Bed Company to send the guys in 3 days a week to fix beds. And maybe Mark? The two together for 8 weeks is costing me $49,000. Pulse Electric's costing me $2,172 a week. Isn't that insane? And they won't let me hire anybody. I took that out. 8 weeks, buddy. I said, no, it had 2 weeks. I could pay for it.
Our big guy isn't showing up, it looks like. You're gonna take over as the vice chair?
I didn't even print any documentation.
I got one for you.
He's not showing up. Okay.
For me, that I need. You want me to make a copy of it quick?
You use script? Nah, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Does yours tell him when to ask for a roll call and everything?
Yes.
Would you go make one for him? That'll work great. First thing is when you accept the agenda, I do have a change that I'll make.
Okay, you're gonna have to do a little prompting, but
Yep, if you're okay with that.
I got a pen.
We'll add an item before it's.
Okay. Sorry, but I didn't. My printer at work is not working, and my printer at home is
Not a problem, not a problem. If our
moving around, and
if our electronics were working, it would be on screen for you. We wouldn't have to worry about it.
okay.
But we're gonna add, citizen,
So this will be kind of item number 5.
Yep.
Item number 6.
Yep.
Okay.
possible request for rezoning or variance.
They saw him coming, didn't they? You know, I tried to help people that are attending by Zoom. We do. Is anybody on? I have Lisa and that's it.
And Sydney.
Prompting on it?
Yeah, she's on. She's
All right.
still on.
That's what I did,
She's
so I
waiting.
still do time.
Lisa's waiting, all right, good.
Okay.
Motion. Roll call,
Okay.
roll call.
Excellent. All right, well. Yeah.
Okay. Well, we need four.
No.
I still just have Lisa. See.
I'll help.
So,
We have enough, Pat, 4 people?
1, 2 people, 4 is enough, yes.
4 and Lisa is on the phone.
okay.
3 and Lisa's on the phone.
Yeah, so, yeah, Lisa.
Is it time to begin, Patrick?
It is time.
Okay, let me see, we're gonna
Are you
begin.
ready, Tiffany?
Ready.
Okay, time is 17:32. We're gonna have the Hiawatha Council Chambers, we're gonna call to order. Jim Craig?
I'll do that.
Oh, you do that, sorry. So you're gonna have to prompt me.
We're good.
Jim Craig. Kevin Mead.
Here.
Lisa Jepson.
Here.
Kenny Jones. Terry Trippy.
Here.
Mark Ross.
Here.
Mark Howard. Good.
Item number B, approval of agenda.
Mr. Chair, I have a change to the agenda.
Shoot.
Add, ahead of item 5 is a citizen request for possible zoning change or variance.
Very good. Now can we do,
Ask for approval of-
approval of the agenda? Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Second.
Great. Item number C, approval of March 22nd.
Gotta vote.
Do we have to have a roll call with that?
No, just vote. Ask for yeas and nays.
Yeas and nays, can we have a vote?
All in favor?
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Same
Aye.
sign? Aye. Item number C,
Number 3, yep.
approval of March 22nd, 2021 regular meeting notes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Do you have a second?
I second. I read them all, I'm sorry.
That's good.
Yeah. I didn't know if we need to go
Do
through.
we also have to have a roll call on this?
Just,
Just-
vote.
Just a vote? Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Same sign?
Item 4.
Item 4, letter D, business. Item number 1, consider resolution for recommendation to City Council to approve the preliminary plat submitted by Shanor Bonfazi for the property known as Hiawatha East, First Edition, Hiawatha, Iowa.
Are our monitors? I don't have anything in my monitor.
The monitors are not working, and and all we have is some paper copies, which we can, unless, if you're,
I got mine on the
you got
phone.
yours on the phone.
I can try to dig mine up on my phone.
Lisa, you have yours?
Yes.
Very good. This is a preliminary plat. You should have gotten the memos from myself and from water and from engineering and fire. All of us reviewed it in the tech review. Any items that we had outstanding have been addressed. And the recommendation on all of the memos is for approval of the preliminary plat.
Is that just the lot 1, or is that the whole layout?
The preliminary plat is inclusive of 2 buildable lots and 2 non-buildable lots. One is outlot A, which is for the retention basin, and the other one is an outlot for the Robbins Road right-of-way and public improvements.
Sir Jim Craig, member, has the phone also.
Ah, very good.
Apologize for being late.
Thank you, Jim. We are considering the preliminary plat. Are there any questions?
I just had a little question about the retention pond area. Is that typical as far as, is that just a low-lying area or?
In this particular case, that's a very good question. It was first going to be a retention basin. The new site plans are showing that it will be a detention basin rather than retention because of the soils configuration. It is making use of the present grade lines. This is a low spot already, and so they're making use of that particular area for the detention purposes. It fits in well with the lay of the land.
Did I read someplace too, I'm sorry, did I read someplace in all the briefs that it said that Hiawatha won't have to maintain this is up to the property owner, is that correct?
That is correct. Yep, that is correct.
So 1 and 2 are the buildable lots, and 3 and the outlot to the west are not buildable.
That's correct. One is for right-of-way purposes, the other is for detention.
When you say detention, sorry, I know it sounds stupid, but are these gonna be just a pond type setup, or will?
In this particular, it was intended to be a pond and would have water in it,
Uh-huh.
but the soils reports just came back for the site plans, and it won't hold water. But it will gather the water and temporarily hold it until it drains out or filters down.
Okay.
Yes. So it's very similar to all the other detention basins we have in the community.
You're not gonna do an underground tank then?
Not an underground tank.
I just didn't know if
Correct.
they wanted to park on there, so I was curious.
They probably won't be parking on it.
Okay.
So, and again, I don't know how granular.
It is planned to be green space.
Okay, that's what, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if this has any bearing, will it be mowed? I mean, will folks say that it's not unkept,
It may be mowed, but it may be a wetland, depending on how the final structure is, which means it could have weeds and it could be soft bottom for a certain number of months. And that would be allowable. What we do as a detention basin, our biggest concern is making sure the water goes there and then discharges at a specific rate. And then whether it stays wet or dry is up to the design.
That'll slow the flow down.
It will, yes, the post-development flow will not be more than the pre-development flow right now off of this property.
It'll probably decrease as well.
Probably decrease it.
It really
Yeah.
does, it's pretty nice. Okay.
May
Other
I ask-
questions?
I have a question, if I may. On number 3, it talks about sidewalks are deferred. When do those go in? Are we able to ask at the appropriate time?
The sidewalks generally go in with the site development. So, for instance, in item B, when we approve the site plan as a staff, we would look for the sidewalks to be installed. They have asked for a deferral, and so what that means is they won't have to put the sidewalks in until the city requests that they do so.
So we have ability to
And we
pick that
use-
time.
We can pick that time anytime, and we base that on public safety and the connectability to other sidewalks.
Okay, thank you.
Good question.
The buildings that they're gonna put on there, I see that big overhead garage doors, are these gonna be, is it business or is it commercial repair or?
In the site plan for the approval of the design guidelines, and we're not talking about the preliminary plat right now, Mr. Chair, if you're okay with addressing them all, it is the same site, so. The garage doors and the type of buildings they are have to pass the design guidelines, which is the front and end views. The garage doors are an indicator that some of the space will be used for warehousing and storage. They are built as a flexible space in this case, for various types of uses, which would include fronts of offices or some other type of space.
But that's all allowable in this,
This is all allowable in this use. Now, the back buildings, let's see, this particular, yeah. And it's assumed that the front 4 buildings will all be identical. And then the next step will be the next 4 buildings. Can everybody hear me? Okay.
Sorry, I jumped
Yes.
ahead.
does the committee, have any other additional questions at this time?
Make a motion to approve. Or can we?
The motion should be specific to item A.
Is that captured? Okay, perfect. So we've got a motion, and we need a second.
Second, Jim Craig.
We received a first and a second motion. Roll call?
Barry Jeffrey,
Aye.
Jenny Jones, Jim Craig,
Aye.
Mark Ross,
Aye.
Lisa Justin,
Aye.
Kevin Mee,
Aye.
Mark Howard.
Motion's carried. Item number 2, consider resolution for recommendation to the city council to approve the design guidelines requirement for the site plan submitted by Shore Bonafonzi for the property known as Hiawatha East First Edition, Hiawatha, Iowa. Discussion?
If I may, Mr. Chair, the main issues for the design guidelines in this aspect that you're approving is what the building looks like. Jim has a picture of what the building looks like, and we did ask them to make a couple changes. They did add some brick, and they did break up the front. The ends of the buildings do match the front as well, with some brick veneer at the bottom. These buildings match very closely to the ones just south, which have the same requirements for the design guidelines. The other part of the design guidelines is the parking berm or screening, and that has been taken care of with the tree planting and with the distance to the parking lot. So we have found that the design guidelines have been met for these front 2 buildings, which are the ones that have to meet it. No, one is the end of the building, and one is the front of the building, and the one at the top that you're looking at, Mark, is the back of the building, which doesn't have the roof. So this is the end, and that matches, and this is the front, and that's broken up
Very
with
good.
the brick.
Okay.
Yes, these are all inclusive of one sheet. So you have it all right there, Kevin, I think.
Yep.
Did you want to see it again? This is the front. Yeah. And these are the ends. Yeah. Personally, I like the one they sent in. We wanted to make sure that they had. So they put past the picture. But when we requested them to embellish the building a little bit, the applicant decided to make it really look nice on the end. So that's what they want to put on there. No? I think you can see that. She thought it was pretty funny. So that is item B. This development is Hawkeye. What did they submit it as? Yeah. I don't remember who the applicant is.
It was on one of the documents, I thought, but thought I saw it.
Title holder is Hiawatha Properties LLC. So that's what we have.
Does the commission have any additional questions for Patrick or anybody else? If not, I would request a motion.
I move we accept this, presentation proposal.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Terry Duffy,
Aye.
Kevin Means,
Aye.
Steve Jeffin,
aye,
Jim Craig,
Aye.
Aye. Item C, consider resolution for the recommendation of City Council to approve the final plat and development agreement submitted by Shore Bonafonte for the property known as Hunter Commerce Park, 6th Edition, Hiawatha, Iowa.
That is a copy of the final plat, Mr. Chair. It is inclusive of 3 lots. This has been preliminarily platted quite a while ago. We currently do have the blue bound submitted for this, and the utility sign-off, and the notification letters for the neighbors. All of that is already on file. The development agreement is inclusive of sidewalks and street lights. There is still 1 street light remaining to be installed. The engineer's approval is included in the packet, along with community development and water department.
Is this the one that's gonna be a warehouse?
Not that I'm aware of. We do,
Sorry.
boy, these are not currently built on, and we have somebody interested in working on one of the lots. I don't know if it's public yet. They haven't made any applications that I'm aware of, so. We don't have any site plan information, which is okay. Final plating is done first.
So just to help the newbie, so final plat doesn't have where the buildings are going to be placed, but the site plan would, and we don't have that in front of us.
That is correct, Jim.
Okay.
In the order of processes, it would be preliminary plating, usually. Now, we are going to see in the development for the Hiawatha East, which we just addressed, they did a preliminary plat with the site plan at the same time. And interestingly enough, we have received their request for final plat already. So sometimes they come orderly and spaced, and sometimes they're right on top of each other. In this particular case, we've had an opportunity to do the final plat before any site plan submittal, which is really a nice way to do it.
Is it right across from the pond there?
This actual location is, the south lot is next to, Newell Machine, yes,
Okay, Dahmer right there.
yes,
That's awesome.
yes it is. This way they can develop and sell and. There you go, Terry. Final plat, and this cul-de-sac actually already exists. Mitchell Drive. It's street, yes, yeah. So Mitchell Drive is already built, and we're doing this lot, and this lot. So here's the Center Point Road.
Yeah, and Kettleson Drive.
Yeah.
And the Midwest Shooting is over here.
I believe that's correct.
I had to drive by
Yeah.
Saturday to get my bearings
There is
straight.
a water right
Yep, there is.
Pond, yeah.
Yep, yep.
This actually is up here. Big basin is right here, and there is a little basin right over here. The big one that you see from North Center Point Road is actually between Mitchell and Kettleton.
It's right. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's right here. So this here isn't really buildable, but the fronts are.
Yes. That'd be a good waterway though.
Yeah.
They can run.
So all of the stormwater for this development is already included in that.
This is an existing street,
Yes, it is.
and it's on the south side of the detention.
That is correct.
There's water, there's a little bit of water in this one.
Yes, I believe there is.
The bigger lake is right across the road.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, you're correct, and they line up with each other. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And you can tell this doesn't work. You can see as much grass as lettuce and water most of the year.
Okay. All right. They are complying lots, they all have street frontage, and they all have access to utilities.
Is the commission, ready to offer a motion?
Make a motion.
I will second it. Roll call, please.
Justin?
I don't think she heard,
Lisa Justin?
Aye.
Mark Ross?
Aye.
Jim Craig?
Aye.
Kevin Nee?
All right.
Gary Trippy?
Item number 5, right, Patrick?
That's correct.
And I'm not real certain on the verbiage that we're supposed to be asking about, but it says, a citizen is possibly requesting for a variance. Does that cover it, or do you have?
He's actually just wanting, well, we'll find out what he's actually asking.
Okay.
We're not sure. He wants to present the case. Yeah.
So it's not,
There's no action.
there's no action tonight because it's not meeting the 24-hour.
Right.
So we're not asking you to make a decision, it's just giving them an opportunity to.
Okay, so,
But I'll go just a little further. We're not asking for action or comment if you don't want to make comment. You can ask questions.
Anyway, Bill Bennett, 506 North Center Point Road. I currently own 111, 112, and 113 Fisher Street, and then backing up to that would be 406 and 408 North Center Point Road. I'm currently in negotiations of selling 506 North Center Point Road that everybody would know as 91 Storage, 5 Motorsports. The current ability of 112 Fisher Street was a body shop, and it's been currently used for that, and I think it still has the ability to have a dealer's license. I'm going to be asking if this happens to have the ability to use the other lot for additional parking for my vehicles. I am downsizing, trying to retire, and this is the property that I have available to move the 5 Motorsports, which is my current auto sales. This is the property I have for ability. And obviously I want to stay in Hiawatha. I already have the property. And I'm just looking for any questions or any guidance that you might have as a planning and zoning entity, and can help guide me with this transaction, because I'm not going to accept the deal at a further Center Point Road if it holds me against the idea of currently holding my dealer's license and eventually downsizing to which we all hope to be retirement.
Yeah.
So I would bring on any questions that anybody would have.
Lots, you said, maybe it's not like the green building right over here.
Yeah, that was originally built for Golden Hammer.
Right.
That some of you that were here that long, and then it's been used as a body shop since.
What other lots are you wanting to park cars on across the street?
Well, currently, I have approximately 45 to 50 cars a stop. And so I'm just trying to, you know, if it would be, in my opinion, for aesthetics, you know, maybe do some hard surface in my mom's backyard and keep it kind of condensed to not using this lot across the street because, you know, we got our city camera that points at that all the time and I don't want to really broadcast that we're letting a used car dealership be there.
Gotcha.
Even though, you know, I mean, it is a little bit conforming because there is one on this particular block that I think is essentially gonna go away. I mean, you hold the building, but you still apparently hold the dealer right there.
So you would park them back on the other place, not aside of that?
That's what I'd like to do, yeah.
Yeah, that's very reasonable.
I wish we just had I wish I could take a look. Can you just point?
Let's just take, I just really have a hard, I'm sorry, I just have a kind of block, you know, block.
So, where are we at? Okay, so this is currently, that piece of pie right here.
Sure, yeah.
Goes to Mr. Freeman's property, that's what I currently own. And so, there's still already in there, but should have been tore down. Because my parents' property, so it's over to that property, and then I go clear to Elm Street.
Gotcha.
And so, you know,
I don't have that.
I have to move them somewhere.
So you have an
You
option?
could get it on a laptop.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell.
Do you have a laptop?
Yeah, it would be 502, 504, 506.
Okay.
That's them.
Okay, and you're, what are the
Currently, I own four.
It would be nice if you could pull it up on the city zoning map.
But then before the city zoning, I bucked up to, which would be known as.
Good.
Well, and then 111 Fisher Street, and 113 Fisher Street. Now, 111 Fisher Street's already got a house on it, so that's not even in that line. But I'm just saying that that's all, the four lots that go across the street from down here on the track.
Jim and Lisa, we're gonna pull up the site location on an iPad and we'll show it to you in a minute.
Gotcha.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
At one time, where we're still, if I could find someone wanting to live, it'd already be there. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, because that building that I left up there was a barber shop.
Yeah.
You know, 5 years ago, me and people were there, but, they're only using 40-foot, like, they're 230-foot homes. So, you know, realistically, I might put something there, use that yard, potential.
So I guess we can ask questions, right? So what would the folks around you say?
Well, it's just that I own, and I just thought, there's.
Lisa, can you tell what he's asking? You know what he's asking?
I think he wants a variance for parking cars on a lot that he owns where they aren't normally parked. So I don't know if that's just a variance or a rezoning from residential to commercial. I don't know.
112 Fisher Street, which would be the north side of Fisher Street.
Right.
And that building currently is 3,500 square foot building. And now, air shop and, you know, our service on that.
So you click to it and I'll hold it in the right position, you know?
So you can see other with
Can you guys see that?
Could you maybe type the two addresses into the chat window and we could pull them up on like Google Maps or something?
Fisher Street, 112 Fisher.
Okay, thank you.
To that, and I was trying to buy all of it along the interstate. I just couldn't get it done with Mr. Fisher.
If you're able to go online, you can go to the community development page of the City of Hiawatha website, and then go to planning and zoning, and find the zoning map.
It's right there, it's city goes, so there's your.
It is zone CPR1.
Great little corner. Yeah, a lot of change.
We need to have a 2021.
I know.
CPR1.
I know. We're ready for a new one.
Commercial, residential,
it's mostly like a town center, retail and mixed use.
right, next year.
Which, so is the currently the property that I'm proposing to sell under that CPR.
CPR one.
Yeah, CPR one. Which I held in for a long time thinking that, and believe me, I've talked to people about a hotel and multifamily and just,
Jim and Lisa, were you able to pull it up?
I can see the building.
Yep, so I'm looking at like a green commercial building with like a 1-story with 3 garage doors. Is that the building?
That's what I've got too.
Mm-hmm. That's what Google Maps is
112
showing as a
Fisher.
picture of it.
112 Fisher is the correct answer. Yes, that would be correct.
Mhm.
Yes, I
Railroad
believe
track.
you would see the garage doors.
And could we, the request is to be able to do what to that area that is not currently allowed?
Lisa lives on it here. That property was zoned for a body shop originally when I bought it. The question will be whether planning and zoning want to continue the idea of it having the zoning that would have the ability for a dealer licensed body shop. Am I right, Pat?
It is a little bit complicated, because I'm not exactly sure what you're going to request, but I can tell you some of the things that exist right now, some of the things we know about the property. We know that your current dealer license is for 502 through 506 Centerpoint Road. And we know that that 112 Fisher is currently a legal non-conforming body shop use. We know that the non-conforming body shop use and the dealership for vehicle sales, neither of those are allowed in a CPR 1. So the question is going to be, can he switch one non-conforming use for another? Is kind of what's going to be the question. And we don't have all the research done yet.
I'd like to see all this put on paper.
Yeah, I agree, and it will have to be, correct. I'm just kind of explaining, when we do the research as staff, we will put that all out for you and let you know, and I don't think staff really knows yet what direction this would have to go. I think it would probably go to Board of Adjustment for interpretation. I think staff will make an interpretation, and depending on whether or not the applicant agrees, it will probably go to Board of Adjustment before it goes anywhere else. Once an interpretation is accepted or acceptable based on appeals and challenges, then the applicant will have a chance to either, depending on what it is, maybe it's an allowable change. I don't know the answer to that.
Is this where a variance would come in, where we allowed so much time?
Well, I doubt if it would fit the actual definition of a variance, but it may, depending on the interpretation, it may be something like rezoning. It may be an acceptable
Non-conforming.
a switch over from what it is now to the dealership. We really haven't, this is the first we're really exposed to it today, but you certainly will have a lot more information before it comes back to you, if it comes formally back to you.
And there's a real question, so it's already being used as a like you're doing out of it already. So that really just continues to be.
That aspect just continues.
Yeah, that just
It
continues.
can.
It's really about whether or not.
It's really about the dealership,
Certain dealerships.
because they are different. in an auto body shop, generally, it's just two different uses.
The thing that I didn't realize when I bought that property, I think in 2003, is what I should have done is probably made it a satellite lot for my existing dealership.
Right.
Because I thought at that time when I bought it, and I'm still gonna investigate, but, I thought that the body shop was carried into the same zoning
Sure,
as
sure.
the dealership. Or-
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. We haven't gotten completely done with our research
Right.
on that tonight.
And that's why I wanted to bring it, I had another meeting I could have had tonight, and I want to bring this to the planning and zoning attention because, this is gonna creep up on me far faster than I know. I've already got somebody that has made an offer on the 506 North Circle Road property, and I'm just looking for a place to go so I can make that connection.
So if I have my notes correct, the first option, it has to go through the board. You have to do your research, then it has to go, you have to present something to the Board of Adjustment to
No.
digest, or no?
I only have to give the interpretation. If they don't agree, they take it to the Board of Adjustment,
Okay.
and the Board of Adjustment makes a determination.
Thank you for listening. Have a good evening.
Thank you, Mayor. And then, depending on what happens from there.
I guess the next item is a motion to adjourn, is that correct?
That's what I have.
Can I ask a question? Jim, Craig, Pat, are we going forward with in-person meetings from now on? Because I scheduled something kind of close because I thought it was Zoom, so are we planning in-person from now on?
We are planning in person from now on.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Jim.
Yep, and I should be able to make it as well. This is the last week of classes, so we should be good.
Awesome. We look forward to seeing you guys.
Well, Jim and I are very charismatic, so I'm sure that we'll add some levity to the group.
I just want to match names with faces. I'll be glad to do that.
Oh, very good, very good.
Move to adjourn.
So we have a motion, we need a second to adjourn.
I'll second it.
We have a second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right.
Thank you very much, folks.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Bye.
everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy the weather.
We're,
2 degrees out there.
80.